Oh girl, oh yeah. Take it slow, show them who in control. Oh gosh, careful what you're doing, careful how you're living, baby. This is not a movie. Live your life, but you could take it slow. Take it slow. Oh girl, you will get excited. I know, girl. It's gonna be hard to fight it, baby. Girl, they'll try to pull you down, but I know you are strong. Yeah, you're a beautiful lady. You're a queen every day. Yeah, don't get caught in the matrix. Don't go looking for ratings. No, I just want to see you shine. Girl, show me your light. You gon' be alright. Everybody on and the ball in the pool on fire. Girl, have a child like she can't boil water, and still she ready to risk it all. And then you can't pay your bills them at all. Laugh tonight and cry in the morning. Oh gosh, that's all I'm saying. Careful what you're doing, careful how you're living, baby. This is not a movie. Live your life, but you could take it slow. Take it slow. Tell me what you're fighting for, what you're killing for. We don't need no more now. Tell them wicked people, fire go Monday, fire go Monday. Oh Lord, I said this is the year for love. Fire go Monday, fire go Monday. Still born when not at all. Another one just gone. By your beat you just and smile. Say you's a madman. Another young boy fall. You sold your rest that night. Oh, you's a bad man. Bad man is a man who just thief and woman and protect the young ones by any means, Lord. You ain't no bad man, boy, nah. You ain't no bad man. A real bad man just makes his own decisions. You don't need anyone. He only needs God. You ain't no bad man, boy, nah. You ain't no bad man. Stop, sit down, rock back. Tell them I don't need no strap to defend my people from wicked and evil. Whoa. Stop, sit down, rock back. Big man look for a walk. You're too damn evil. If you distress my people, then fire go Monday, fire go Monday. Oh Lord, I said this is the year for love. Fire go Monday, fire go Monday. Still born killing for love. We don't need no more love. I said we don't want no more love. All bad man don't go and raping woman, influencing young ones to kill a boy now. He ain't no bad man, boy now. He ain't no bad man. A real bad man works so whatever he wants, and he don't need no gun. He full of joy now. There's a bad man soldier. He ain't no bad man. So sit down, rock back. Tell them I don't need no strap to defend my people from wicked and evil. Whoa.
Where to start? We have 150 viewers. I just shifted the Wi-Fi. So let's see if we get an increase. I know it's very difficult, but you all know we constantly working on it to get it fixed. I see Satish Ramsaran is there. Satish is, tomorrow we're supposed to be trying a hardwire solution. At some point we're gonna solve this, you know. Even we had to buy a satellite dish. And I wanna say something. I can't call his name. You don't want his name called. But a gentleman heard me tell my story of having lost everything and being homeless and having to start over and going through what I went through. And he said that it touched him because he had the same experience. And he felt a kinship with that conversation. And he felt now moved to come into the Progressive Empowerment Party and to fully commit. And he committed himself to a significant donation. I mean, a significant donation to the party. And he's abroad. He lost everything here. And he was at his wit's end. Start over abroad. And he's very well off. And he has committed now. He was always a friend of the party. But now he said he realized the mission that we're on. And all of today, we've been sharing posts from people who used to be considered diehard PNM and diehard UNC that move away. That's saying, you see this bullshit? See this race voting helping nobody. Country in a mess. We need to have a real conversation. That's all we say. That's all we say. Express run an article. The government didn't choose us. We choose them. And we have the power to vote them out and choose new leadership on a headline. Government lacks on border security. See right there? I know we're getting the job done. We're getting the job done. Today somebody say, but wait now. And they have our opposition too. When last year here, under no circumstances. The only person who's talked about these other political parties is me. The mission is the PNM. The mission is the PNM, and we have them in our sights, and they know. They dress back. They don't know what to say. They don't know how to lie again. All of them, all man in a line hiding behind Gary Griffith. Gary Griffith's successes is all they want to hide behind right now. You know why I love my Trini people? And I love you bad, eh? I love you bad. We full of shit and we do nonsense. But all you're good for all yourself and all already, you know. Last night, and I watch it, and I say, stunt boy, whoever was in charge of trying to distract the people, you come good. You come good. And maybe 3 years ago, at a time before there was a Progressive Empowerment Party, you'd have catch the nation. You'd have fool them. They'd have go with you. But they ignore you completely. When TV6 have to spend the kind of money to promote a story that was to bust last night, and it was supposed to rock the country and rivet you, and the whole country watched the story, see it for the stunt that it is, see it for the distraction that it is, and yawned. Now you want to send Mark Basant now to tell us that some Burusing contractor thieving gas in a hidden compartment? Boy, tell us about Unipet and the billions they owe in. Tell us who on the board of directors of Unipet. Tell us when the bill to Petrotrin is going to be paid, because that is my money. That is your money. It ain't the shareholders and the directors of Unipet money. Pay a bill. Tell us about AV oil. We ain't wasting time on that. Nazim have questions to answer, and Kitos have questions too. Don't send Budu Singh and tell me 48 million. Mark Basant, come now man, have some freaking integrity now. For all the shit that's going on in the country, that is what you get chained up with? Would they pay for that? Would they pay for that? That was a story, $48 million in a country where people can't get food, that's spending $60,000 million a year. You talk to us about $48 million? What kind of story was that? To come and try and distract the people? Go behind Budu Singh? Forget Budu Singh. Let me find out what AV oil is all about. Can't just be 100 million in fake oil. Like the start. It's like when this Camille Robinson Regis, and she $143,000 in the brown paper bag. Mark Basant, that's a bigger story. Camille, where the money come from? Rowley, you who build your whole career on busting Mark, Boss Camille Trot. But you're a stunt artist and you fool them at election time. Mark Bassant, they have bigger stories for a man of your character and caliber. I want to ask a question tonight, but before I get into the mission tonight, Trinidad and Tobago, hear me well. Again, accustomed to doing this, a little itchy. You all know that I'm growing the beard because it's No Shave November, and you're supposed to, it is a way to raise awareness for the issue of prostate cancer in men. All men, at some point, develop prostate issues. The later on in growth, the older you get, at some point, all men get prostate cancer. It's a serious issue, and we need to raise the issue about it, raise the awareness, and anything that I can do to raise awareness about that, breast cancer, colon cancer, I'm there with it. So, No Shave November, we here with this. I might do like Faris and tint the grays a little bit. No, not November too. It could very well be that. Try eating peas, not nuts. Anyway, this, hear me well. I don't have to start where I ended or end where I started. Let me just jump in. Those that would silence my voice, those that wanted silence, what they do is they come on the wall when new people find Philip. Because when new people find Philip, it's like, you know that scene in the movie, the sky open, and you hear the angels, and the light shine down, and you say, shit, there's somebody who talking what I have in my head. And people just get excited, and they come on my wall and express love, commitment. We with you, call it. What they do is they come. Philip is a mother-ass. Philip is a con man. Philip is a racist. Philip don't like nobody. Philip is an old thief. All of this, no substance, no evidence, just... But you know what happened? At the start, there was getting little converts who take the chain up and stand up on the sideline and see the pep train grow and come and say, but wait now, I thought you was a con man. How the party is the biggest, fastest growing party in the country history, everybody getting fooled. When they realize that they getting answer back, when they realize they getting cussed and they getting exposed, people coming to me and saying, but you hear what so-and-so say? You hear what so-and-so tell me? And they posting it on the wall, and they sharing it, and they busting them up. So, they had to go fake profile. Fake profile now, and come on the walls. Come on the walls. Philip is a con man. Philip is an old thief. Philip is a racist. And every thread gets demolished. Even people who are not supporters of the PEP and Philip Edward Alexander, I have seen saying, if he is all of those things, if the party is irrelevant, if it's a one-man show and he is just a big mouth, why are you talking about him? It's like us and a little Banana Bird party that formed with about 5 disgruntled PEP members who thought they could do it better, that crashed bad and they're still waiting on the ambulance to come and take out the dead. We don't call the name no more. You know why we don't call the name no more? It's like pact. I'll say it. It's like pact. Horace Mahara and Dirk de Goville and Peter George Jr. and whoever else. Irrelevant. You don't have to say pact. We don't have to talk about them. We don't have to tell you avoid them. They're irrelevant. Michaela, irrelevant. COP, irrelevant. There's only one shining star on the hill right now, the Progressive Empowerment Party, and it's rocking the ducks and it controlling the national conversation. Look on social media. They're either talking with us or about us. Check what's going on. The Progressive Empowerment Party is the 800-pound gorilla in Trinidad politics right now. Keith Rowley know it. And Kamla Prasad, Bisessa, and her band of incompetence, they know it too. They back talk me and we. They try to minimize me and we. They try to damage me and we. And all fail. Herman Lee King, daughter, Rhea Lee King. Now Herman is a Balize stunting jackass. And Herman daughter, who said on the wall on one of the threads where she come to attack Philip Edward Alexander, say, since she born, she PNM to the bone. I want to tell you something real. You may be PNM to the bone, but I Trinbagonian to the bone. I ain't taking chin up. I not even PP to the bone. I country first. Nothing more important than country in the political conversation. So if you have an answer before they ask the question, you're irrelevant to the conversation because it needs to be a discussion. We want elucidation. We want to know that everybody get a share to have their voice heard, to have their point raised. We got to hear 56 years later playing political ping pong, any, mini, miny, mo, you in, you out, and the same jackass contractors, financiers operating the treasury through them. Kamla touring the world. Well, I remember the first 2 years of Kamla Mania, riding truck in New York, like Miss Trinidad and Tobago. Who was running the country? Jack Warner. Keith Rowley, nowhere to be seen. Little stunting, short young jackass, minister of everything. Who was the person to label him that? Me. When I bust a mark, that mark bust. I tell you, this here tonight, they are panicked. They are panicked. The people who operate the PNM and the UNC, and they call in, Phil, let me talk now. No, sir. Today I get a call while I was on the phone and I see the man's name and I ignore it. And he called again and I had to ignore it and then I call him back. A man, a friend of mine, everybody know him, Maurice Nunes. Maurice had a stroke and Maurice fighting to recover. Sweet and decent man, Maurice Nunes. Everybody know Maurice. Who don't know Maurice know of Maurice. And Maurice, in his recovering from his stroke, called me and say, you son of a bitch, you had to take that call. Because if I have to drag myself down to stand up with you by the gates in Bayshore, it's you alone protesting partner. If they have a protest, it's me and you. The kind of people that jump out themselves publicly to stand with the Progressive Empowerment Party, panicking them. You see, all you could control the shit snakes. So when Herman Lee King daughter posts on her wall today, Philip is Trump. Philip is Trump. And some shit about me going to, something about hoping I end up a suicide bomber, some shit so. I just send in that crap to my lawyers for them to send to the cybercrime unit. But when Herman Lee King, PNM till he dead, Herman Lee King daughter, PNM till she bone, had to jump out herself, come on a thread today. Listen to me, I wake up this morning, this girl out in the blue, she come on a thread and attack every single person commenting on the thread. That she disagree with them and attack them in the most violent, reprehensible way. So by the time I see, because you know your Facebook tell you 207 posts, and you go and you see, and one of them is in one row you see about 9 profile pictures of the same person. You have to go and check what is going on. What is going on? And when I see this thing, I had to remove her comments. The woman compared me to all kind of nastiness. On her wall, she posts, and people that I don't know put her in her place. And that panics them. Because they expect, when you put up a post, Philip is an old thief, Philip is a con man, Philip is a racist. That is like beating the pot. You know when you have plenty stray dog in your yard, and you put out food, and you beat the pot, man coming from a side. That's what they be expecting. But that's not happening. What coming is people to say, but who are you to say that? On what are you making these allegations? People that I do not know. People who come after they read their shit and find the PEP and find me and message me as get notices from Facebook. This, because if you're not my friend and you message me, I have to approve the message. So I get that box will be full. If all these people saying, look what this person said. Now, I don't know you. You are that person, friend. And you come in to tell me who you don't know. We on the right track. We on a good track. The Progressive Empowerment Party, I watch a man tonight and I share it in our most innermost sanctum sanctorum. And I say, oh, you watch this. This man is PNM frontline. You can't pay him for the loyalty he has to the PNM. And tonight, because I'm telling you, he is the line in the sand. Rowley and Faris and Colm and Stuart and Marlene and all the rest of them jokers, not on social media, down in the trenches where the conversation happening. But this man, you can't get past he. He is PNM's strongest. And tonight he posts on Facebook. I'll tell you what he posts. When I see this, I had to screenshot this and send that. This is what he posts. It is about time black people stop voting based on race, because PNM have been in power for over 50 years and they have done absolutely nothing for black people in this country. Just look at Laventille and environs, for example, in total shambles. Now, when a man like that jump out, when Express starting to chafe, because you see, the owners could be operated by political parties, and they can have a couple journalists inside the crew taking their little kakada. But a lot of the people in all organizations are good, honest, decent people. And they can't take bullshit for too long, like you and I. Can't take bullshit for too long. And I apologize if there's any difficulty with the video. If you can't continue, wait for it after. Maya Khan puts it up on YouTube. They jamming They jamming every frequency. They jamming this broadcast. Because when it done, and the night when the video done, 4,500 views, 5,000 views. By tomorrow, when everybody wake up, 15,000 views, 20,000 views, because everybody come in looking for the video. And who don't find it on Facebook, finding it on YouTube. So they could jam it now because they know that Peppers and new members like to come on the live and talk to each other, talk about the country, talk about the issues. They manage now. They tell TV6, keep your stupid Buru Singh story. Where am I at? And I love you bad for that. I'll tell you something. This is the point I wanted to get to. They are panicked. And panicked people do stupid things. And I want the Progressive Empowerment Party members to hear me. No matter what happens to me, keep the dream alive. Keep the fire burning. Don't stop. Don't miss a beat. When they ask what Philip would I want, Philip want one people under one flag. Change the conversation. It is time to investigate and bring to justice all of those who live in high on hills that don't want people calling their name. It is time the courts get involved and deal with the criminality. And I want you all to hear me, because they're desperate now. Whether I am the leader, whether I am present or not, stay the course. Hard. Stay the course. This is bigger than one person. This is a movement of Trinbagonians, the people that the Constitution refers to, This is us. Leave the sycophants. Leave the diehards. Leave the bandits. Leave those who have benefited and want to defend the bullshitocracy that has destroyed this blessed and beautiful country. I'm not going anywhere. I am just saying, remember, because I said tonight, I want to have a story, I want to have a video called Let's Pretend. But I want to ask a question. And I'm going to ask this question now. And I'm going to ask Trinidad and Tobago to make this a national conversation. Because we need to know. And the only way we're going to find out is if we push this as the narrative. No matter what they do, no matter what they say, no matter how they try to distract you, no matter how they try to terrorize you, no matter how they try to put fear in you, stand up in the glory of your God and for this country, for this nation, for this flag. Because we have to rescue it. And the only way we're going to rescue it is that we have to stand together, committed to the mission, focused. One people, 1.4 million of us. I want to tell you, you ought to share the memes. When the people stand up, the conversation changes. And I want them to hear me. If you want to burn me down, bring the gas. I will walk with the matches. I didn't get into this to stunt, but come with your real name. Let Trinidad see all you. Right now we brazen all them Zandoli out the hole, you know. All of them who used to hide behind 2 and 3 levels of people talking for them can't hide no more. Their business in the road. And they vex because they're supposed to thief with impunity. Who the hell is this man? Philip Edward Alexander. Send my jackass. My father is one of 9. There are people in my father's family that love me dearly. They find, the last time I call out people's name, their wives and their children were hurt because they had to live with them jackasses. So I say nothing again, but when people find, let me tell you something, when people find people who their profile have the same last name as me and they're attacking me, feel free to ignore them with fervor and vigor. They're irrelevant to the conversation. All they do is stunt and make noise. But I have people like everybody else, like every other family. They have good and they have bad. I see somebody today post about neighbors. I come home tonight, my neighbor trimmed my plant. Now I find that that was the most egregious trespass. And inside of me, I am upset. I have one plant. I love this plant. It's a special plant that an old Chinese lady gave to me. And my son tell me that I believe in all kind of stupidness. But she gave me this tree as a good luck, as a good fortune. And I treat this tree with the greatest of respect. I come home today and my neighbor trimmed my plant. And he's explaining to me why he took it upon himself to trim my plant. And inside of me, there is a Philip that is strangling this man. There's a version of this conversation. It ends with me kneeling on his chest, strangling him. But I have to say, I know that you came from a good place. I know that your intentions were honorable. But in future, I would prefer no surprises. Ask me first. Because he's my neighbor. So I could have kneel on his chest and strangle him. I was within my rights, but I still have to live with him tomorrow. If he's alive. And his intentions were honorable, and I had to see that. I had to see and know. But my friend want to talk about some people, and nobody is everything. And you see me, I tell all you already, you know, don't be a jackass with me, because I'll have to be a jackass with you. And I'm a real good jackass. Real good jackass. Let's ask this question. In the 80s, Justice Scott was given the mandate and the instruments to conduct a commission of inquiry into the drug trade in Trinidad and Tobago that was by then straining law enforcement and public health. The drug trade, Trinidad and Tobago, the 80s. Out of that extensive investigations came a document called the Scott Drug Report. And if you read the Scott Drug Report, you will understand why it was an earthquake to this country. It rocked it to the core. When people talk about boroughs, that is what fire boroughs. That's what wrap up the flying squad. That's what changed a lot of things in the country. But they fought it and they prevented it being laid in Parliament. The Scott Drug Report. And they condemned it. And I said to myself, that is the power of criminality in this country. A commission of inquiry, properly done, blocked from the Parliament of the people. That can happen. And I want to know 80s, 90s, 2000, 2010, 2018. It's nearly 40 years. And we have found in this country hundreds of millions of dollars in cocaine. We have had hundreds of millions of dollars in cocaine go to Vietnam, go to Spain, go to Great Britain, go to Canada, go to New York, go to Virginia, found on the high seas, all originating from Trinidad and Tobago. Hundreds of millions of dollars. Stick a pin in the porous borders for a minute. If this is still going on in the country, 40 years still since the Scott Drug Report, why hasn't any government commissioned a new drug report inquiry? Why not? Why not? Why are the borders open? Why? Kamala no, Rowley no, Manning knew, Pandey no. You know I know they know? Because all of them are heads of the National Security Council. And the information that I know they have, I was the communications advisor to a Minister of National Security. When I talk about the Maritime Security Wall, it is a document that I read in the Ministry of National Security that I know that is there since Manning. You hear what we're talking about? Since Manning, we could have stopped the drug trade. That I am aware of. Since Manning, since Pandey, we could have stopped the drug trade. That I am aware of. Since Manning and Pandey, we could have stopped the illegal guns flowing into the country that they want to stunt for you, that they want to show. Watch them. Look them little black and chicken with rich trainer. Look at it. Look at it. They are 50, they are 60, they are 19. My half red ass. How they coming into the country? Porous borders. You could walk in here with anything. Like the 11 Venezuelans we see climb off a pirogue that they tell us they hold, but I refuse to believe that. Because I saw them come in, I should have seen them go out. And if you couldn't show me video footage of them going out, miss me with the bullshit. Patrick Manning used to refer to people as Mr. Big. Bastio Pandey spoke to us about a parasitic oligarchy. And all of these fellas find themselves in office and lost their testicles. Or decided it might be better to be on the other side of the force. Well, I want you to hear me well. I am driven by one thing. And I am 51 years old. So I have lived longer than all of my heroes. And I want you to know this. The mission now is to rescue our country from all of those criminals, wherever they hide. Trinidad and Tobago needs desperately two things. Keith Rowley, Faris Al-Rawi, Stuart Young. We are going to raise this in the public space till you can't ignore it. This country needs a commission of inquiry into the drug trade in Trinidad and Tobago and secured borders. We need that. That is what this country needs. The Progressive Empowerment Party is going to raise in the public space until the government has to answer, until the opposition has to jump on board and try to stunt and pretend that they were in there all the time. Why no action to secure the borders and stop the flow of drugs? Why no action? Why none? Why none? Why none? But let's pretend that this is a real nation. Let's pretend that $9 billion a year on national security, $9,000 million a year, playing run, jump, hopscotch, shoot 'em up Charlie, is not enough money to secure the borders and end the shit going on inside the country. If I know it, I know you know it too, Rowley. I know you know it too, Kamala. So I'm asking why we do not secure this nation's borders. Why has there not been? We've had commissions of inquiry into CLECO, commissions of inquiry into the construction industry twice. We've had a commission of inquiry into, what some of us ship this the other day. No commission of inquiry into the biggest source of criminality in the country, the drug trade. Why? Who in this country so big that they dictate what the government and the parliament does? Because the parliament has to know that this is a matter of urgent national interest. Why do we not have secured borders? They talk to you and they tell you, we will take 14 interceptors that we buy, that we let spoil, and we will fix them over. At some point, we will send some fellas outside there with 2 slingshots and a magnifying glass, and we will try and stop it because they're bullshitting you. They're stunting for you. They're lying to you. Because a phone call tonight to Donald Trump to say, listen, boss, we need the help. Send some Coast Guard cutters and secure my little 2x4 island. We want to stop the drug trade, and by tomorrow, Hema and Fazil could be down on the port interviewing guys with American accents. Tomorrow, Britain will send help, Canada will send help, Japan will send help. All we need to say is help. We want help. Why can't we? Why don't we? Why haven't we? Let's pretend that the government knows what it is doing. Let's pretend that the Prime Minister and the Chairman of the National Security Council, prior to this live video tonight, did not know that this country needs to secure the borders, to stop the flow of illegal immigrants, to stop the flow of illegal guns, to stop the flow of illegal narcotics and contraband. And we need to do that as a matter of urgency. Let's pretend that he didn't know prior to tonight. But let's assume that from tonight, he knows. He knows. Because it's one of 2 things have to happen. I have to dead for my country to make the point that we have a real and serious problem, and it is internal, and it is destroying this country. Because everything that is wrong with Trinidad and Tobago is as a direct result of the drug trade and everything that flows from it. Trust me when I tell you. Let's assume tonight that Keith Rowley, as Prime Minister and head of the National Security Council, knows tonight that we need to secure the borders, because the moment you stop the flow of guns into the country, Gary and all of his police could pick up all the guns that are already here, so that in quick time, gunplay, murder, done. This morning, the nation ground to a halt. Somebody spray up somebody else, high-powered machine guns. on the entrance to the city. And like market crab tie-up, we don't know that the 3 lanes coming in jam up and the 3 lanes going out empty, that we could have just redirect the traffic through the openings that we created to do the pipelines that we're doing, because they have openings there for this. So while the people in white dealing with the crime scene, you could have direct traffic around it if you wanted to. If you wanted to. But we didn't want to, because have them stuck in traffic, and they will post on Facebook, and they will write on WhatsApp, and they will make this the top story of the day, and the people will not ask questions like Mike Wiley, who has been appointed to run Heritage Petroleum, who got a job in August for a company that didn't exist until October. Keith Rowley, is that fraud? I'm asking you, because you seem to be an expert on all the people who are guilty of fraud. And let's pretend that when Keith Rowley met with the then chairman of the Integrity Commission, Ken Gordon, in his house, in private, in secret, let's pretend that wasn't an attempt to use the office of the opposition leader to overthrow the democratically elected government. Let's pretend Emailgate was not the crime of the absolute century. Come back to Mike Wiley. Keith Rowley, I want to know, when Mike Wiley was hired, what was he hired for? How could a man be hired in August to work for a company that didn't exist until October? Worse, I know people in the human resource industry, and I tell you, at certain levels, we scour the world. We put it out there for 3 months, and we bring in all of the. So that means August, you hire him. You have to be searching July, June, May. You have to have people looking for your Mike Wiley since May. But what is strange, remarkably so, is that in July, Franklin Kahn and Wilfred Espide told this nation that Petrotrin was profitable. So you didn't take 3 months to find Wiley. When you all decided to carve it up like a Christmas turkey, you all send and get somebody partner. Now I know what a high commissioner and ambassador are supposed to do on behalf of this country, but I know what high commissioners and ambassadors do on behalf of their parties, and how everybody get the link up and the kickback. Because the work is not about the country, the work is what we could eat. Because I know somebody make that link up for Mike Wiley, because in July, Petrotrin was safe. In July, Petrotrin was safe. How we end up hiring a man in July to work for a company in October that is at odds with the memorandum of understanding between you and the union? Was that signed as a lie? You already had the man to run Heritage before Heritage was formed, while the OWTU was negotiating with you in good faith. How did this come to be, Keith Rowley? And when you look at this man's CV, his resume, his qualifications, he's an engineer. The only experience he has running an oil company is his own failed oil company that he set up and failed. So out of all the people in Trinidad, Tobago, the Caribbean, South America, the world, that you could have found to come and run Heritage and get $40,000 US a month plus perks, you bring Mike Wiley. Who does Mike Wiley know that he got that link up? Mark Bassant. This is a bigger story than any hidden gas compartment in any contractor tanker. Mark Bassant, where are you, sir? This is the story that needs needs your attention. TV6, this is the story that you need to be advertising. Ask, how did we end up hiring a man in August for a company that didn't exist till October? A man that is woefully underqualified and lacks the experience to do the job he was hired for, to be paid $40,000 US a month plus perks. Let's pretend that all that I just said is normal. Let's pretend that. Let's pretend that it is okay to lie to the country that owns Petrotrin, to deceive the population, to use the media to peddle filth, to let the people believe that their Petrotrin was working, that they might have some problems, that we in a conversation. It not closing down, but it might have to close down. All right, it closing down. But while all those steps were being taken, you already hired the man. How is that possible? What mechanism, what magic, what crystal ball, what time travel was that? This is why they are deathly afraid of the Progressive Empowerment Party. Because all of this, no matter what you hide, no matter what you burn down, forensic accounting will follow the money. No matter who you kill, forensic accounting will follow the money. There are people chomping. It's actually champing. But if I say champing at the bit, people will write me and say chomping because they remember seeing a horse biting on the bit. But the real word is champing at the bit, and you will remember that for the next time you're playing trivia. But there are people in the world champing at the bit to come here. The bit is the piece of metal inside the horse mount that the reins are attached to. Excited to come and flex the mental muscles and follow the money. From 1962, I tell them, you know, from August 31st, 1962, follow every dollar that passed through this country. Because we need to know. Don't tell me O'Halloran dead. The building's still in Toronto. Is we money by that? O'Halloran could have dead. We money still alive. I want the buildings back. I want the rent that they've earned for the past 50 years. That is we own. Only big enough to think so yet. Only wake up enough to understand that what these stunting jackasses doing, they're doing with your property. That you who live in squalor, in squalid, at-risk hotspot communities didn't have to live so. That your share of the national pie was at least Westmoreland's and up. That Morva, Beetham, Lavantil, Sealots, River Estate, Patna, Bagatelle, Covine, Mason, Factory Road, none of them Rich Plain, none of them La Puerta Saganga, none of them had to look like that. That Abipujat, Begar and Scorpion, Caranash, Point Kumana didn't have to be so. That Cocorit, Harding Place and Waterhole didn't have to live so hard. Imagine this country. Imagine it. Only better. Imagine this country where every creed and race did in fact find an equal place. Imagine this country where the government worked to the benefit of all the people. Imagine this country where all policies function like a rising tide that lifts all boats. So that everybody, so that somebody with compassion and mercy, that people with empathy, hire them and send them to treat with the homeless, the broken, the dispossessed, the people who have nothing. There are people, there are ways and means to treat with everybody. Treat with everything. Imagine this country only better. Imagine this country operated by, populated by. Imagine all our senior officers of state. Imagine from the president come down. All they're concerned about is make our people happy. The wellness of the citizens is the function, purpose, and reason for every public office that exists. Every single one. The THA, the RHA, the police service, the army, the courts, the parliament, all of them. The Constitution of the Republic speaks into existence a parliament to seek the people's business. to serve the people. That's the job. That's the mission. That's the job description. It's never been adhered to. They've all failed. Any, mini, miny, more. Today for you, tomorrow for me. You thief some, I'll thief tomorrow, we'll share. And there are people still defending that. There are people in this country that still defends that madness. There are people who tell me voting can't fix it. And I want to tell you, voting is the only thing that could fix it. Voting is the only thing that could fix it. If you vote a better, proper government into office, if you vote a better, proper nation, if you vote yourself a government that not only has vision, but passion and commitment to get the job done. You see, when these little stunt artists jump out themselves to attack Philip Edward Alexander, it's not because this is a one-trick pony. It's not because this is a shit-hung party. It's not even because Philip is a con man, or old thief, or a racist. It is because the Progressive Empowerment Party and Philip Edward Alexander have them panicked. Because for the first time in this country's however many years, 56 years, for the first time, the people are waking up and pushing back. For the first time, the people are daring to ask questions. For the first time, people are telling members of parliament and government ministers, hey, you work for me. Your job ain't a stunt. Come and see after my needs. Because that's the purpose, function, and reason for government. Apathy, voter apathy, is a sin to democracy. It is the greatest crime. To pretend that nothing can change when everything changes. The only thing that doesn't change is your say, your control, your influence, because the price of everything changes. The conditions of your life changes. The terms, the references, the circumstances, all are affected by one thing. Guess what that one thing is? Politics. So if you do not vote, all you do is excuse yourself from a conversation that is all about you. That's what the conversation is about. Your vote, your labor, and your consumption. That's what government discusses at all levels, in every guise, in every position and post. Every operation of the country at some point interacts with your vote, your labor, and your consumption. Trinidad and Tobago is the most blessed country on planet Earth, blighted by a people failing to stand in her defense. Had Trinidad and Tobago a real population of real people that wanted the best for their country, this country would have been, as David Rudder said, paradise on earth convincingly. Where are we going? Let's pretend. Let's pretend that that old man that lay down in the hospital last night on 2 chairs with his foot propped up on a fan box for 24 hours as having been admitted to the hospital in a nation that has spent, hear me, that has spent $120 billion between Manning, Pandy, Kamala, and Rowley on public health. We spend in this country to run 4 jokey hospitals and 10 fly-by-night health centers. We spend millions of dollars per hour. Per hour. $5 billion a year. 5 billion. And that's not counting construction of all these hospitals they build. They build Arima, they build in Point Fortin, they have Couva. But they can't run the 4 that we already have. They can't run Tobago, they can't run Jet Port of Spain, they can't run San Fernando, they can't run Mount Hope. Those 4 failing, collapsing, people dying. San Fernando have a child mortality rate that is a shame and a disgrace. And every day a new brand new private facility opening. Same doctors. They're telling you, bro, boss, don't look at me, you know. I'm willing to do the work. So what is going on? Let's pretend that every single day that passes without security at the gates of the nation's schools, let's pretend that that is okay in a nation that has 30,000 illegal guns. Let's pretend that we don't have young children who are members of gangs. Let's pretend that it is not possible for them to fall out and come to school with guns and there be innocent victims of other people's children caught in the crossfire as collateral damage, as Manning said. Let's pretend that the Ministry of Education does not have the responsibility to put security guards at the gates and to check every bag and every person walking through the gate. Let's pretend tutor doesn't have that as a responsibility to tell all the teachers, stand down until they secure the schools, because the last teacher that was damaged, injured by a scratch bomb, imagine if that was something with a little more firepower. Let's pretend that this is a real nation. Let's pretend that taking fertile farmland that could grow food and bring the price of food and cost of living down into the cents from dollars. Let's pretend that they're better served giving friends, family, and finances of those two parties hundreds of acres to build strip malls and cineplexes and bullshit us. Let's pretend that that's how you run a proper country. Let's pretend that allowing HADCO and AMCO and Massey to bring in $8 billion in food, US, every year, when we could save that foreign exchange, and the food that they're bringing in is highly processed, low in nutrition, calorie dense, and a waste of time. That if we were growing breadfruit, cassava, sweet potato, yam, dasheen, you see Usain Bolt? Usain Bolt is a running ad for Blue Food. Running ad for Blue Food, and people tell you, Baji rice with pigtails, saltfish, and provision. You call me name, me rank, me shoe size. If we were feeding our people properly, there will be the medical, the healthcare bill will come down. Imagine that. Grow food and reduce the cost of healthcare. Grow food and save foreign exchange. Grow food and save money. Grow food and the people prosper. Imagine this country only better. Imagine it. Imagine it. It's easy to do. It's easy to fix. It's a dot in the ocean. It's a rock in the sea. Trinidad and Tobago is 1.4 million people. They almost have more. Anyway, listen. The country that we want.
Islands in the sun. Islands in the fun. Welcome, welcome one and all to the land of death. Trinity to the bone. Trinity to the bone. When they come to Bacchanal, well, they can't beat we at Trinity to the bone. Trinity to the bone. Sweet woman parade abundantly. The brethren live for the energy. Some people say God is a Trinity. Paradise and not come Italy. God gave us a spirit fiery, but nothing in the world about we. But look at smart man, God will be money. We still come out and smash up the body. Sweet, sweet TNT. Oh, how I love of this country. Sweet, sweet TNT. No place in this world I'd rather be.
And if that is your position, and if that is your condition, then I ask you, I implore you to change the national conversation. Stop with the stunting and the bullshit now. Let's kill the arguing. Let's focus on solutions. Let us realize that there is nothing in the PNN or the UNC of value for this country. If they were going to fix it, they would have done so already. If they wanted to secure the borders and stop the drug trade, the illegal guns and the human trafficking, Manning, Pandey, Kamala Rowley, one of them would have done it already. They don't want to. If they wanted an internal affairs division to clean up the police service, to make it functional so that members of parliament and ministers who abuse the public trust could be arrested and charged and prosecuted, they would have done it already. There is nothing in the PNM and the UNC of any value to this country. And you have to face that. Look around yourself. Look at your condition. Whoever you are, contrast and compare yourself to Bayshore, Goodwood Park, and Valsayn and check and see if you've been represented the way those people have. And the point that has to be made is the shortage of jobs, the inability to own a home, the failure to get a nation that drowns itself in water every year to just get that water into your taps is a demonstration of complete political failure for our entire independent existence. And if you want a better life, if you want a better life for yourself, for your family, for your loved ones, for your friends, for your future, if you want a better life to come back home to, the Progressive Empowerment Party is the solution. We are here, ready, willing and able to do the job. We are standing, we have stood the test of every single attack and still here, still standing strong. We have marginalized all the other parties. We've put the opposition in shadow. It is the Progressive Empowerment Party facing the PNN. Ignore the split vote bullshit. Vote orange. Vote the PEP. Vote yourself a better nation. If you want a better country, stand up. Stand together. Get ready. Politically, lawfully, legally, democratically. Get ready to send that entire band of bandits on their way. If you want a better nation, if you want a better country, now is the time. This is the way. You have a chance. We together, one people under one flag, standing together. This Saturday at noon, come and join the conversation. Let's take it forward.
Your vote will decide our destiny. Your vote will decide what you want to be. Your vote can protect our country's fate. Move and use it well before it's late. If it is that who you
Voting, fail beyond a doubt. When you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out.
if it is the proven,
To be only full amount. When you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out.
if it is the time is now that
Change must come about. Just as how you vote them in. Vote them out.
register and
Vote them out.
if they can see,
Vote them out.
stay your finger and
Vote them out.
show
Rest
them
in
no
the country.
mercy.
Vote them out.
Put them up with total skull and utter disdain. Let's put our country together again. Put them out of power.
To be in the rain.
Let's put our country together again.
Today we stood up for a little boy. They take a picture of this. They take this little boy picture. He dressed up, he went in the People Party in a little white outfit. And the most meanest, disgusting things were said about this little boy. And I'm wondering, how could people be so nasty? How could they be so stink? They say, you have family, you have friends. You yourself can't take that kind of attack. That is cyberbullying in the worst. I watch a woman, a young woman, and I want to tag her, and I want to tell her, last night I watched you defending your friend from bullying, and today you're bullying somebody else. What is that? What is that? Where we going? They have us fighting one another. Listen, I don't care who you wear. I don't care who you pray to. I don't care who you lying down with. I don't care about those things. We're supposed to live in a country where everybody's supposed to enjoy themselves and like themselves and choose to be who they are. That is the nation. Let everybody live and let live. What the hell was that about? Come now, man, Trinidad and Tobago. If you had a comment on that thread, I am asking you to go and find that comment and delete it.
If for 30 years you voted them in,
And it's only tears.
as soon as they win, if it
song and I would like to give it to you, but I can't because, well, it's 5 minutes past 9. I don't want the videos to go too long. People say this hour-long video becoming a 2-hour video, you know, Phil. So I apologize for the videos that when they go too long. But it's all to blame because the numbers is just declining. Anyway, this Saturday at noon, we're supposed to be having our first meeting at the Barataria office, which is the North Hub, their office. This is not the launch of it, but we'll be using that facility because we're converting Stanmore Avenue into a studio. Big things are going on, you know. We are converting Stanmore Avenue into a studio, and they have, we ain't want to jinx it, we ain't want to blight it. We no longer waiting on other people and their thing. We're doing our own thing. And if you want to be involved in that, if you have any capacity at all in production, studio, broadcast, link up with me, link up with Satish. We're working on this hard. Janice Lemon Cricky, the PRO, she's the head of the communications team. We're going to be putting our foot on the ground. Okay? So if you want to be a part of that, come join us this Saturday at noon. And I swear to you, I need to have that address because the way same way I said this Saturday at noon, 19 Stanmore Avenue, I can't say that anymore. It's Barataria, and by tomorrow, I will have that address for you. They say that we are to expect bad weather. Now, I'm saying to all the people who live in flood-prone areas, please stock up on sandbags and keep them in your yard and have them ready. There are things that you could buy that could block the gates, the doors from letting water in. You have to secure yourselves. You have to make sure that all of your important documents are high up in plastic bags, your medications, those things. Make sure that the important things that you have them on a list and you know what to check to when you see the things happening, that you could grab everything and throw them in a bag so that you could move. Yeah? It's our reality. They say this weekend expect some bad weather. I don't know if it's true, but it is better to be prepared in case the worst happen. Right? peptrinbago@gmail.com is our primary email address, and use it. But you could always message me if you forget who you're supposed to reach out to. The party organizer is Shari Wilson. If you would like to be involved in any of the 5 hubs, North, East, Central, South, Tobago, those 5 hubs have control over those regions, those constituencies, and we're building on constituency, community, neighborhood, street. If you would like to be involved in any part of that level, you could reach out directly to Shari Wilson. Simon Wright is in, he's leading the hub in Central. Satish and Adisa in the East. Richard Blaze in the North. Michelle Davis in the South. Still working on Tobago. Yeah, we're still working on Tobago. It might be me. I might move to Tobago and fight elections there myself. I know. The Progressive Empowerment Party is having a Juve ban. We're launching that just now. So it's going to be limited numbers because we have to control the drinks and the food and all that drama. It comes with drinks, it comes with breakfast. Hot Like a Pepper is the name of the band. Sign up, $399. All of the funds goes towards the party. And anybody who is in the alcohol business, anybody who would like to help with the breakfast, we need a team to come and help make the breakfast. The breakfast will not be anything too big because people just want things to sup up the alcohol after. Coffee, tea, Milo, juice, and some maybe toast and cheese, or I don't know. Breakfast, we need a team to come and do the breakfast ready because we starting at Stanmore and we're jumping around the savannah and we're coming right back to Stanmore. We're using orange powder and we're not going to dirty the area. We're not going to leave it in a mess because one rain and the orange powder wash away. And when you come back to Stanmore, it's breakfast and a lime, go your way. Hot like a pepper. Yes, man. We're going with that. The PEP Orange Army, that's the name of the organizing committee, is having that event. Sign up, link up. Felicia Holder, chairman of the party, has lead on that. She has a committee. If you would like to be part of the committee, link up with Felicia. Anthony Defoe is heading up the membership team, as you know. If you'd like to be involved in the membership business, link up with Anthony Defoe. Pep Finance, Felicia, Satish, Giselle, Usha, all of the usual suspects. We have a youth arm, a women's arm. Keisha Lewis is now the head of the women's arm. I think that a release was supposed to be done. That's coming out. If you want to be part of the women's arm that deals with women's issues nationally and from a PEP's perspective, feel free to link up. It comes under the party organization umbrella. So that's Shari Wilson as well. We have a youth arm and we're building an elders council. All of the people, if you're retired and you'd like to sit in on this very important crew, and people just laugh and say, my biggest following is the Golden Girls. But I am happy for them because they treat me well. I get cake and snacks, and if I just come on this thing and I say I have enough sniffles, is the kind of medicine I just get. So the Golden Girls, love all of you. Well, your equivalent gentlemen, feel free to come Saturday and join and be part of the Elders Council, because we want to discuss the country from the elders' perspective. The issues that most affect you, that you think need to be addressed. Every time they talk about the elders, they talk about pension, but it's not just that. They need to be attended to, they need to be treated, they need to be given certain services. Like, I don't understand how banks are allowed to open without facilities for the elders to have bathrooms access and to have somewhere to sit down. We all will get there one day. Why don't we prepare for our future? I don't know. This is such an insipid and jokey country sometimes. But anyway, Elders Council, we want to deal with issues like that as it matters to the elders. If you would like to be involved and serve on that in any capacity, feel free to come. And yes, thank you for the cakes and the muffins and the brownies. Love all of you. Love all of it. Keep them coming. The PEP loves you. And this is a party of love. Yeah, we're fighting a real mission. We're fighting some big dragons, but I remember there was a statement where they said that they went to Churchill and they asked Churchill, they said, we need some more money for the war effort. And he said, well, there's no more money for the war effort. And they said, but you could take money from the arts. And he said, well, then what are we fighting for? And the Progressive Empowerment Party, we don't want to lose sight of what we're fighting for. We want a better day to dawn in this country. Yes, there must be investigation. Yes, there must be prosecution. But the most important thing is to right-size every office, organization of state, and to make sure that all of our people, get represented and serviced. Anyway, 347-4PEP is the hotline. PEP app, PEP app, downloaded at any app store. PepTT.com is the website. You all know we own Stand Up TNT, and that is the biggest political group on Facebook, Trinidad Political Group. We have Progressive Empowerment Party as a page. Follow that. Everything is shared in those two places. We have a YouTube channel that Maya Khan runs religiously, for want of a better word. And it is always up to spec. Tonight's video will be up in quick time. Those of you who get it on YouTube, you know why. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Again, we say we need funds. We need funds. We are going to fight a war. We need funds for our advertising. We need funds for t-shirts. We need funds for flags. We need to mobilize all 41 constituencies. We need to mobilize every single community. We need buntings. We need banners. To the people overseas who would like to get involved and ship us bulk t-shirts, we want that. PEP t-shirts. If you're willing to get involved in that, and you're in China or you have access to people, if you want to do flags for us, big flags, banners, because we're going to need all of that for the elections. Start working on it now. Talk to Janice. She'll get the artwork to you. Let's get all that going on. If you want to talk to me directly, feel free. I am always open to talking about all of that with all of you. Thank all of you for being here. Yes, this is a serious mission, but this is a party of love. And what we want more than anything else is Trinidad and Tobago to become the paradise on earth it was always meant to be. That is the mission. One people under one flag. Join us this Saturday at noon. Stay safe, Trinidad and Tobago.